Hey, everyone.
All right, we're good.
Welcome to the Regional School District 13 Board of Education Building Committee meeting. This is a special meeting, Wednesday, July 29th, 2026, 5 p.m. in the library of Coggins High School. Please rise to the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, union of America, indivisible, liberty and justice.
Hey. Before public comment, we'll all go around, introduce ourselves and our affiliations. Howard Weisberg, Building Committee.
Eric Croy, Facilities. Bob Moore, Board of Ed.
Sydney Leggett, Superintendent. Sorry, Darren was just coming in.
Lucy Petrola, Board of Ed.
Rob Croston, Building Committee. Craig Putnam, Building Committee.
John Cross, Building Committee. Rusty Alex, QA. Carson Collier, QAM. David Borelli, ONG Industries.
Marnie Liska, STV.
And online.
We have Dave.
Dave Cravenzola, ONG.
Bill.
Phil Dwyer, Building Committee.
And Darren.
Darren Overton, Building Committee.
Do we have any members of the public online?
Potentially there could be, there's somebody that just says iPhone. If anybody, if iPhone, whoever you are, if you'd like to make any public comment, please raise your hand. Nothing. Nope.
Okay. With that, public comment will be closed. Item number 3, approval of agenda. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
The second. Okay, we have a motion on the table, approve the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And it passes. Approval, item 4, approval of minutes, July 8th, 2026 and July 15th, 2026. It was including everybody's packets. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion approved minutes.
Can I get a second? I'll second. Okay, we have motion to approve the minutes, July 8th, 2026, July 15th, 2026 on the table. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Now the fun stuff. Item 5, memorial renovation and expansion. Do we want to do just some general updates first?
Sure. I don't know if you want to go to ONG and
Yeah.
first.
We'll start with Jay. Okay.
Like I said, someone last meeting requested kind of a milestone update. So I printed out, just page one of our schedule. And then I'll give that. I'll give you. So,
Digital.
Want to just give us just a quick overview of what we're,
So things we've been working on, Temp Power is still ongoing. Eversource did, drive some of the poles last week. So now we're just trying to get them out there to connect the power. We'll have that ongoing. We also set there today the disconnection of the existing power, so that got signed, and that's over to Eversource. Stripping of topsoil is ongoing. Site cuts are still ongoing. Foundation excavation for area F and G, and that's the classroom addition. That is completed. Interior wall layout is ongoing. Interior framing has commenced. Saw cutting for the plumbing and areas E and B has commenced. Concrete contractor mobilized yesterday. We have all the rebar for the project coming tomorrow. But yeah, everything, there's one delivery, but yeah, it's enough to, so once it comes tomorrow, they're gonna start forming and placing, concrete.
for a foundation for the gym and the.
Just the classroom addition right now.
Okay,
Within the next 2 weeks, we'll start digging for the, gym addition.
great.
The beryllium, material that was relocated, out of the way of the foundation work. Interior masonry infills, that's ongoing. And we're also, tomorrow morning, we're doing a pull plan, in the trailer. We're gonna pull from the start of footings to completion of steel. So we're gonna bring the, contractors into the trailer, and we're gonna tag that out. So, if you do notice that we are behind on F and G, so, we do have a plan to work overtime, both with, the concrete contractor and then ultimately the steel contractor. We did request a, recovery plan from the steel contractor because it was his, late submission of shop drawings that kind of pushed it out. So we're gonna try our best to get a recovery in the next few months. So we'll do what we can. And that's, pretty much it for an update.
Where is that, on this,
The. Right here, F and G, substantial completion.
yeah, gotcha.
And what's the precursors to substantial completion, just seeing that the F and G is out towards mid-September?
Can you repeat that?
Area F and G.
Yeah.
Showing mid-September for being done.
Yep.
Is that the where it pushed out to and where you're trying to recover?
Yeah,
back
that's
to?
the area we recovered, yeah.
And the target is, what's the target?
August 12th.
August 12th, yeah.
Yeah, so we've already spoke to the concrete contractor and, not this week, because this is kind of, he's just mobilizing with the rebar tomorrow. So starting the 8th, we're gonna start working Saturdays with him, and then we're working with the steel contractors, get the steel in here quicker. And then, once he's on site, we'll also work Saturdays and overtime with him.
Thank you for showing it that way. I mean, obviously you could have hid that, but
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No,
You know,
I'm open and honest.
so, because we're here to help you.
I
So
understand.
the critical path is driving it to
Yeah.
this date, and
Yeah.
you believe that there's the ability to make that up.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'm not too concerned right now.
Okay, that's great. Anything else on the critical path that's presenting a challenge, or is?
No, that's it. Right now, it's just steel. Steels are, we gotta get steel made and out here.
Have the shop drawings been approved, or?
They just came back. Right, maybe some, definitely back, afternoon.
That's the concrete work for F and G.
Oh, okay.
The rebar reinforcement starting there, so
I just saw FNG quick.
yeah, it's in review. There are a couple dimensions I need to verify before taking it back, so that'll
Okay.
be up tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll have it, and then we're actually meeting with the steel contractor tomorrow. He's part of the pole plan.
Okay.
See how we can expedite it.
Great.
Is the steel because of delivery or is it?
No, there was just late submission from the contractor on the shop drawings. So,
The bars, where's it being made? And down here or?
the steel?
Yeah.
I don't know where United, I don't know if they're doing it in shop, in the facility, East Hartford, or if they're doing it somewhere.
Yeah,
else.
ask them.
Yep.
Typically Fabric, Mary Starford.
Yeah, typically.
Hopefully.
Right. Yeah, I'll confirm it tomorrow.
Today, not anymore. Couple of years ago, not with the 50% tariff. That's just funny.
All right, anybody have any questions, either in person or online for, Jay? Okay. Anything else for O and G? Moving over to Carson, Rusty, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing right now, again, I'm just coming back from vacation, so I'm playing the catch-up game, with submittal review and everything. I know one of the topics on here related to the courtyard, so
If you
I
wanna.
kind of defer to Rusty on that, for the conversations had.
So we did get a concept drawing from Dinesh this afternoon. We had talked about keeping it simple, you know, the budget is 150. So we're kind of, it basically what you're seeing is just a very simple connection between the two egress points, and the costumes are connected to that offensive wide walk. The tree shown, the anticipation is that there'll be shade structures for each of the classroom areas. And then there's a little berm with some shrubs in it to just create a separation from the classroom areas. The dashed lines represent a tertiary walks if we can do them at any time. And the idea is to have mulch and ground cover. Keep it very simple.
Great. What are we thinking about for a material? Are we looking at asphalt?
So this is showing concrete, and what I told them is we should really be doing, the walk should be an asphalt walk. And then maybe the two classroom spaces is a concrete,
Okay.
just to sort of capture them as a defined area for construction.
With the tents obviously being, or the canopies or shade structures being rectangular, does it make sense to maybe have the pads be more rectangular, so that I mean, do we anticipate the tents being larger than the area, or?
Much smaller than the area,
Okay,
and we were thinking maybe even triangular, you know,
okay,
something that's a little. So it's not too regular, we're trying to keep this sort of a more of a sculptural.
so a hyperbolic shade sail or something.
Yeah. And what we're doing is we're looking into those, the cost of the shades, and, you know, understanding that there's two here now, we're going for each of the.
And I guess we'll make them both equal because it's just easier.
Right.
That does make it less fighting.
Can I ask a question? For the two classroom areas, those two circles, those would be concrete, and then this main path in between, that would be asphalt?
Right.
And then the dotted lines for the tertiary kind of, you know, perimeter walk, is that something that we just can't afford in that 150 right now?
Right,
So we could do that down the road.
right. The idea is to identify where it could be.
Mhm.
For instance, along that, walk, there might be some, you know, points where students could do projects and we can define those locations. So whether it's a bench that they make or an exhibit that they want to put up, we can identify those locations, and then when the students do that work, they'll know what, you know, it'll be identified, they can place it there, anticipating that the tertiary walk is in place.
Rusty, cost wise, and just from obviously the bulk of our concrete work is in the circle, the two circles. What if we just made the main access point concrete and then just had everything else's, you know, asphalt pads right off of them?
Yeah, for the amount of work that you're gonna do there, it's, at this point, it won't matter whether it's concrete or asphalt for cost wise. Unless you had, objection to the concrete from a architectural side.
No, I mean,
I think you
prefer
figure
to go
concrete, right? 'Cause, especially if you have a tree there too, I don't know, if you're gonna put that there, the roots will tear up the asphalt a lot sooner as well.
For the main walkway, or are you talking the main walkway or the? Yeah, for the main walkway, I think the main walkway can be concrete. It's easy, but yeah, I'm just wondering, all we really want for the pad is something that's ADA accessible, right? We want to do it,
Yeah.
I guess, as inexpensively as possible, so.
So connecting the two to the walkway was to me the simplest way of doing it, then you're not trying to transition.
Yeah, I get it, I'm just wondering.
And I think we could get pricing on all of it being asphalt, all of it being
Yeah.
concrete,
Sure.
or
Or
just the sidewalk being so it's easily, it's defined, so we can.
Yeah, overall, I think the design is fine. I think this works. It meets for sure your needs. It becomes an easy thing to maintain for Eric, especially if he's using a robo mower.
Yeah.
The white area is grass.
Yes, I think so.
Gray.
The gray area. Gray area. Gray and.
Well, no, the white areas.
So the white area would be grass, your perimeter would be kind of ground cover mulch.
Some sort of,
Some sort of ground cover kind of planting at that point, we don't want to maintain it.
I do like the idea of asphalt and concrete for the distinction of the classroom space in the open air, I think is
So-
effective.
so you're in favor of asphalt for the concrete area? for
Well,
the
I'd like-
classroom?
The two different materials.
Yeah. And the fact that if the walkway itself is asphalt, didn't get the definition of the.
I will say also concrete, you have to panelize it in some way, shape or form with control joints. So this is very rudimentary programmatic right now, just from a layout standpoint. We can find a distinction between the two areas as well as.
And if it's
Yeah, I'm not even worried about, because you got to divide it between them, but seeing the asphalt transfer, if it is asphalt. If it was all asphalt, I think it's hard to define the space.
It's just.
Sure. Yep.
If they're all cement or concrete, then paneling and expansion joints can be clearly defined, you can do whatever you would do in classroom spaces.
Mhm.
But I think the combination of asphalt and two concrete pads for the classrooms automatically that defines that space.
Okay.
The idea is it's always, sort of, market speaking, it's always the walkways, and then the classroom is defined by different material. So that change, but we can look at all, and again, get a unit price for it. I think, we probably want to get a price from the contractor. So we're not trying to do too much here, keep it as simple as possible. They'll give us a pretty good number.
And then, I think the asphalt path should be also fairly doable in this. And, with the ground cover, honestly, I would just throw some ground cover on there and let that take over for now until we figure out what to do, like a creeping myrtle or Pakistan or just, you don't even need ornamentals because the school's gonna figure out what they want to do in each of the spots. So
Right.
I think this may be the easiest way to go.
And Ocean State still has the free house cover and robo more.
Where are you looking for sales? Who are you reaching out to?
Our Ramesh is looking into that. They hadn't got back to me yet.
Do we have an idea of size? It seemed like 30 by 24 seemed appropriate, or do we want to go, if we go triangular, obviously the trade-off is shade. But I think the hyperbolic ones are still structural. They're not tents that just, I think a hyperbolic shade sail, maybe 8 feet high, will give enough shade.
Even with triangular, if you had a center pole and four corners, if the poles are varying heights, then the shade sails could actually be suspended at different angles, and you can interact multiple sets that way.
I think we're not trying to make shade the entire classroom area. You need shade so that if somebody needs it, they can go to it.
Yeah, we don't know how much shade's gonna be there with the addition.
There's overhang
Yeah,
in the building,
that's a good
time
point.
of day, there's all kinds of stuff going on. I typically figure maybe a quarter of the area. Or
So you think if we can get by with the 20 by 20 shade sail, hyperbolic, it becomes nice. You get some good color out of it. You get some good shape. You can have different colors, obviously, so people know which one to go to. But yeah, that may be, if we do a larger area than a 20 by 20 inside of it. That seems like that makes sense.
Once we look at the specifics of it, it'd be nice to have like two triangular pieces that are at an offset so
Oh,
that,
that'd be awesome.
you know, it gives it more color, so you can have each shade, each sail can be a different color. And then it provides, it's not designed to cover the whole thing, it's designed to cover, you know, parts of it. And
I think that was one of the questions, you know, what are we looking to do in terms of the cover?
Yeah.
So.
And that is, it's removable for the winter.
Right.
You don't leave it up all winter.
And we don't need something that's what, we're gonna go for the breathable ones because it does need to be watertight.
Yeah.
Because if it's raining, they're gonna be inside.
You want the wind to go through it.
Okay. So 20 by 20 square or triangular, something similar, okay. Well, triangular is nice because it's obviously it's one less post.
How big are those pads there? 12 feet each?
I think they were more like 30 and
30
30
feet
diameter.
in diameter?
Great.
Did you, when we're talking, I'm just trying to figure out, just since we're gonna talk about finances next, I assume this 150 is just kind of for doing this. It doesn't include the shade sales, because I think those are those are expensive, aren't they?
They are, and we're trying to find some that are more reasonable expense wise. But I think the idea is to understand what this cost is, because we can certainly get the cost of the shade sales. And it might be, you know, if this is too much, or if this is already consuming the value that we have, then we could look at, you know, waiting on the shade sales till later on and then putting those in. I mean, those are relatively easy to put in even afterwards if need be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna core 4 holes in the asphalt, put in some monotubes and and put them up, so. And it may actually get you an idea of what you want. I mean, you can easily get shade out there. I mean, it's, yeah. I think the idea is build this.
Well, I think we want to build this before they enclose the.
Right, we gotta get these
right?
guys.
So,
Figure it out.
Very big
No.
equipment. in.
I think they did a nice job on this. Like I said, just, what's the minimum width on the loop sidewalk? What's the ADA width for two-way?
I think we said 6 feet for
6
the
feet.
perimeter ones and 10 feet for the main.
Okay. Do we need 10? Do you think 10 is needed?
That was part of the discussion. I mean,
I think we had talked about 6 feet everywhere, right?
We're talking about sidewalk width?
Yeah.
The standard's 5 feet.
For,
Regress, we don't need 10 feet. It's just more of.
I think there was some
More of a-
comment
more of a
about two wheelchairs passing each other, so, I mean, you could go down to 6 feet is pretty
but
good.
you are gonna have people kind of gather, it's gonna be a combination spot, so maybe 8 and maybe you go out, maybe you widen it out to 10, between the 2 classrooms or something. So you can just neck it out a little bit.
Our numbers are 6, so.
Yeah, and I think we settled on 6 everywhere would be ideal, and then if we really needed to, maybe on the main path, we could have some like bump outs or something. If we ever did run into a situation where we have passing.
A wheelchair has to fit through less than a 36-inch door, so 6 feet's enough for 2 wheelchairs to pass.
Yeah, you just need 5 feet basically for 2 cross, but it just gives you a little bit more room beyond that.
But no, I think this is nice, and you've got a loop of a decent distance, so, you know, there's a nice, you know, you need to walk the kids and get them exercise, you've got a nice little pathway that they can see different things on that.
So we'll define the base number with the main walkway and the 2 classroom areas and some of that landscaping. And then the perimeter walks will be, just get an additional price for that.
And like, yeah, and throw in the different, you know, if it's asphalt, if it's concrete.
Right.
Great, yeah, and like, yeah, it would be great to have the shades in, the sails in, but the sails can be installed. Pretty much, the sails.
The other thing, I mean, I did shade sales for the preschool when my kids were there. And it was at Wesleyan, so the big problem was getting the $4 million liability for the contractor to put the cement poles in. But they can also be configured, like if you just put 4 poles in the corner, wire can be strung, and then you can configure whatever shapes you want between the cables. So you could have stacked triangles You can add into them, you can start with one being shaded and just move them around. They can be reconfigured at will, and rearranged. And that also means, smaller shade sails may be cheaper, so 2 15 by 15s, 15-foot triangles may be cheaper than a 20-foot triangle. And that gives you more play with.
Yeah. I think it's great.
The sails themselves are really not that expensive.
Yeah, so I mean, if you want to spec, maybe just spec 4 poles or 6 poles.
Well, the challenge is they still have to be designed for the,
You gotta take them.
they have to be designed for the sails, yeah. I think the pole installation's gonna be your big expense. I mean, it's concrete footers, it's.
Right, so I'm saying, so if you planned on 4 poles in the pricing, then any configuration of sails can be put in there at any point.
Right, but I think the sails are inconsequential to the cost of putting in.
That's right, so that's what don't include, the poles are gonna be expensive, that's what you should figure for pricing.
Yeah. But that's gonna be what we can't afford. But yeah, I think this is great. Grass and ground cover. And are you comfortable with ground cover straight up to the edge of the building?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna change the plan for snow removal.
Do we want to have one of the concerns from one of the teachers was being able to utilize parts of the building for access? I mean, it almost seems like that can be done as an after fact, you figure out where you want stuff as you go, and then you can just put couple little offshoot trails
Yeah.
with stepping stones and or pathways.
Mhm.
And that can be done later.
Yeah.
Paver
Great.
blocks and so good. Yeah, I think this gives enough to work on. Great. Nice job.
Thank you. It was a good meeting we had Friday.
Yeah. I mean, one of the question that came up about, they wanted to look at it like, almost like having an indoor class from outside with the whiteboards and things like that. And I think the idea is really, it's a different environment than that. But the idea of rolling in some kind of a board, if you really need to do that, would be easy enough.
I tend to agree. I mean, this is designed to be outdoor
Different.
education,
Yeah.
not
Not
we're
just.
having a class
just
outside.
Regular class.
Yeah, I
outside.
wouldn't want to study math there, even though I like math, it might struggle with that.
I mean,
They might
this,
just study
I might
it
not pay
differently.
attention.
honestly, this should be technology, this should be the place where they actually learn without technology.
Yeah.
They can
Right.
count out here, count a rock.
A few
Yeah.
bushes that would attract hummingbirds and the
Yeah.
butterfly bushes,
Might rush the clock.
would be
Is there power
very easy to
on any of
maintain.
these walls?
Assume.
Is there any power on any of these outside walls?
Yeah, you'd want to host them and,
Great.
We'll have to see if that's the case. I don't
I
necessarily.
don't know if we need it, but
you will at some point, probably.
some.
We gotta charge the road a little more or something.
That's what that.
Yeah, gotta plug in the charger for the mower.
It'll actually be neat. The mower can kind of exist right here and have a little walkway to it. So when it's
Is
ready.
there
to go
both
there,
glass panels, Rusty,
Map it
on
out,
any
yeah.
of that?
that would actually be really.
At least one.
That's easy to do.
And you have windowsill is that.
Yeah, there won't be.
Yeah, great job.
The program.
So just keep us in the loop as that progresses, but I think this is a really nice design to run with.
As we update it, we'll send it out to the committee.
Great. All right, anything else for us or? Financial update. When do we need to discuss, acceptance of some of the, changes like the lighting,
So I think Marty, if you want to take us through the finances right now, and then if you're talking about the change orders, that's after this meeting, that's just for the smaller group? or are
no,
you
this is
looking at
whether or not we approve, removing
Yeah.
a couple of items.
Yeah. Although I'm sure you can have a discussion with ONG
Yeah.
about if any of those are flexible.
Well, and an additional one, the light, the tennis lights is, I guess, decision has to be made today.
Yeah, just because we're releasing that, so.
And I put a memo in there, just to, like, these are the things that are remaining to decide on. I just put the outdoor classroom green because we're going ahead with that. With a budget of 150. So Marnie, I don't know if you want to give us a quick update from STV, and then I don't know if we want to go over this list to see if we
Sure.
want to decide those things, and then we definitely have to decide the lights.
Yep.
So, as I understand it, there have been some, additional value engineering going on over the last week, from deleting the canopy number 4 to, where's my list here? And the other would be, deleting site irrigation. So that was a $200,000 total. So, that brings us to basically 0 as far as the project budget goes. I'm carrying it though as under a PCO log, just because we're post GMP now, so any change comes after the GMP, but it will flush out. The budget will end up getting down to a break-even situation as ONG takes those credits from the trade contract. So I did want to give you an update on our PCO log. So every week we tend to add items to the PCO log. So we have we're tracking about $400,000 worth of PCOs, or $200,000 if you offset the value engineering that you guys just did. So the end result for that is that your owner contingency is trending. So many tabs here, bear with me. Your owner contingency balance is trending at only $216,000. So a couple items just to let you know what am I projecting under the owner contingency. I already told you about the busing costs. You know about that. The propane tanks, there are 8 new propane tanks in the project, and those weren't carried under construction. So they'll actually be provided by Eric's vendor, who supplied the original propane tank for the school. So I'm carrying $5,000 per tank. That's a $40,000 ticket item. They also need to give us a price, for the piping from the tank to the building. So right now I'm carrying $20,000 for that. Smaller items, we have a water storage tank we've got to fill, $2,400 for that. We're trending a little over our budget item for legal fees, so contingency's picking up that overrun. I also have $76,000 now in for a BDA system if we need it. That's the system that increases the strength of the signal for the emergency responders if they're in the building. We had that in technology, and then we decided to bid it as an alternate on the construction side to see what the value was going to come in as. We can certainly still buy that with the FF&E package. Right now, though, I'm just carrying it in the owner contingency, and that value is $76,000. And again, we might not even need it. Unfortunately, we don't know until the building's completely built and they get in there and they try the radios. So I just wanted to put a placeholder for that.
One of the things we need to track though is, so something like that, the district can apply for a security grant after the project. So some of the stuff you can get is just in a different form.
Yep.
So we should keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's, that'll come down to, first responders, AHJ, if they can't, the radios don't work. We don't.
I know, but we're not obligated to do that.
Well, if the radios don't work, there's the potential of pulling up a TCO or even a CO. So that's why it's one of
I don't
those.
think they can do that. I've never had them force me to do that. Never. I apologize trying to get caught up. Where were we with the settlement for the?
We don't have any information yet. We hope to have some information next week.
And then the last item I've plugged in is, if you recall, ONG carried an allowance for the roofing when the GMP was signed because the bids hadn't come in. So, the difference between that roofing allowance and the actual bid is $126,000. So I've added that to the list as well. So that's where we're at for this week. And
I apologize. How many PCOs were you tracking?
right now, as far as the number, I think we're in like. We're up to about 80. Well, I track them by PCO number and not every RFI number, and not every RFI has cost. So I would say I don't know, I'm probably tracking about 40 at this point, so.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's not terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
the first number I heard, I was getting a little concerned that, we're having too many. Jay, I don't know why we're getting that many. I know we get them initially, especially in demo, but you should be really starting to flatten out here. So, we should keep an eye on that. Also,
One thing I will make you aware of, the geotechnical engineer took a look at the subgrade under where the foundations were excavated for the building addition, and has required that crushed stone be put in under the foundations. And that's for that entire building addition. If you want to take a look at either the community website, I have photos that I gave to the community website there. I have tons of photos on your Google Drive. You'll see a folder for STV and QAM field reports. And under the STV field reports are all my weekly field report and tons of photos. You'll see that the soil, if you can even call it soil, once we started excavating for the building foundations, is really like shale. It's fractured shale, and you can get some really good pictures of the condition of that in my photo.
yeah,
And it wasn't suitable
didn't we
for,
take some samples in that area?
We did, so it's
Yeah.
weathered rock, kind of in that area.
We knew we were gonna come.
Yep.
I mean, we should have known this.
You guys getting that crushed on, still fun?
I don't know where they're getting it from.
I'll stick with the mat of crushed stone we put down.
Or I choose the geotech.
Is that already in your log or is that another?
it's already in the log. There's a placeholder, 50,000 in there for a log, so we're just waiting for a final tally. So the geotechnical report had indicated, they knew it was there, but they still didn't know to what extent. So they knew that foundations were either gonna bear on native soil or gonna need to go on stone. We just didn't.
No, I know that, but they should, you know what I mean? It's like everything's after the fact. Now, obviously, that should have been noted in the bid things, and we should have made some allowance for it. We gotta get a better handle on some of this stuff. We can't let this go like this day in and day out.
So like you said, we haven't formally been presented with any hard financial numbers at this point. This is just kind of an estimate that Marty is kind of carrying at this point. Before it hits anyone's table here for review or approval, we have to kind of vet through it. We'll work with ONG and Marty to kind of fine tune any of those numbers, what an appropriate value is based off the bid documents. I think right now Marty's erring on the side of caution just with what's been presented thus far.
Yeah, and
At
I
that
agree.
point,
I'm just
we'll-
saying, we're not that far into the project and we need to be a little tighter on this. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Are we gonna hit the same thing when they start the gym?
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly, yeah. So that's what that number includes.
Okay.
The gym, everything.
Okay.
So right now, because we have the rebar coming and the foundations, we did the perimeter, the big footing area of the addition. And it was about a week's worth of work for our site guy.
Is that something, I'm just not familiar, is that something that's CM contingency or owner's contingency?
Owner's contingency.
For all the stone?
Yes. Yes, all of this is under contingency.
That's why I said Tilcon, because the district has a relationship with them. I don't know how many tons of stone we're gonna be looking at for both spots. We pay a premium on crushed stone. It's gonna be.
Right.
Yeah, we should pay our rate.
You site work contractor again? Is your site work contractor?
La Rosa, I'll let them know.
So you said owner contingencies down to 200,000. And then the other things you cited, are those already out of that, leaving us with 200,000, or are those coming out of the 200,000?
Those are already in the 200,000 and it's all projecting.
Oh, yeah.
The
All right,
money is.
After the things you mentioned, there's 200 left,
So
okay.
usually I,
Because, well, you said there's 200,000, and you started listing these things, which came out to about 200,000.
those are
Okay,
in-
that's good. So
in that
we're
number,
balanced.
that's what's driving that number down there.
Okay.
So speaking of that, hopefully you looked at the memo of the things that we might need to talk about today to see if we take anything additional out of the project. If I can just go through the list, I don't think we can talk about the rubber surfacing tonight,
Not
because
yet.
it's just too big of a number, right?
Yeah, I actually, so there is a DIS contract, that, I've done work with, and I just put a feeler out just to understand where it was on a previous contract, just to get an idea. Looking through the DIS contract to see a really wide range of numbers on the solid surfacing.
Mhm.
Anywhere from like, $15 to $28, depending on the material. So it's, there is a wide range of.
Well, the 50 is a low end, that's matting. There's options. It's probably closer to 30.
Darren has his hand up. Go ahead, Darren.
There.
What was the base design for the foundation? The foundation section. I'm trying to understand why we need crushed stone to go on top of fractured stone.
Yeah, so offhand, I do not know. I'd have to review the drawings and kind of follow back up on that. As I kind of said, we have not vetted any of this number or value that's being kind of represented at this point. So I would suggest at this point, kind of, we review as kind of the construction team where things stand from what's owned contract wise from a base contract, and evaluate if there is any warranted additional cost, what that is, what the potential exposure is at that point. I'm not prepared to talk about that tonight because I don't have that information in front of me. And offhand, I don't know. I'd have to review the drawings in regards to what the structural foundation detail kind of recommended at that point.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And one thing, I mean, Darren, I don't know, how do we know he didn't make a suggestion that it'd be nice to do? You know what I mean? Sometimes it gets lost in communication. Is it required? Did he require it? And, how did we get here? That's all. I'm just saying we need to pay attention. Sometimes people just accept change orders if without any question about it. And, I just think we probably shouldn't be paying for this. That's all. I'm not sure why we're doing it. I agree with you, Darren.
Next is the outdoor classroom, and that's in motion. That's 150. Guess that leaves us with 50 if we do that, right, Mary? Technically,
No, that's included.
that's
in
included.
200,
The
yeah.
150 is in there. Okay, well, that's
Oh,
good.
you already have the 150 in our, okay, that's.
Yeah, because we were carrying 275.
So alternate number 14 is providing a projector and electric screen within the gym for larger school presentations. My thought was just making sure that we're set up for that, whatever they need to do now during construction, and then we can look at purchasing a projector and screen later down the road.
Yeah.
Everybody's okay with that? The BDA, the audio enhancement system, we talked a little bit about that. And so that is in here as alternate 15 for 225, but I think we have something else in place of it right now, right?
So for ADA regulations, we are required to have some level of audio enhancement system available within the facility. Based off of our discussions, we are looking to procure a portable system
Mhm.
for a quantity of classrooms. I think we were talking 1 per grade to be made available at that point, and right now we're targeting that out of the FF&E budget. So that will happen as part of the phase 4 state review process when we look at procuring equipment at that point.
Okay. The foot grills and the interior walk-off mats, those are 84 and 72. I don't know if anybody wants to have any discussion about those.
Was there a deduct on the foot grills from the carpet installer?
It probably would have been an ad at that point because they're adding more carpet material to replace the foot grill location.
I think the bid, the award, it wasn't, I have to look back at it. Right here. See if I have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe put the water bottles in the.
Yeah, we can definitely do that, but I think the bid came in as a credit for the foot grills from the contractor.
I mean, overall, it should be a credit because we owned it base contract. It was a deduct credit essentially at that point. Or was it framed as that out? We kind of went back and forth. Was it Nat?
I think there was 3 bidders on that. I think 2 of them put it as it's like $60,000 ad, but the one the low bid put it as a credit, like $2,300 credit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll defer to ONG in regards to what the contractor's values provided. I think Laurel kind of added those up as they were kind of presented there, but we can definitely follow up on
We're
that.
too far down the line, but just take a peek. I think I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it. I just, originally told me.
At least for now, it sounds like that's on hold, right? We're not.
No, I think we're gonna take it. I mean, you're gonna end up, he'll end up buying them and if he doesn't have the credit.
Yeah, if it's not a credit. I think the bid came in as a credit from the low bidder.
All right, I'll
For
take a
the
look.
EM grills, is that what we're talking about?
And is that the grills and the mats, Eric, or is that just because one's 84 and one's 72?
So it wasn't Higgins, it was the low bidder.
You're on the column.
They put it as a credit, I believe.
Okay, I'll take a look.
Just take a look. If it's an ad, it's weird.
Higgins did?
No, Conover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just, I mean, that's, you guys, ONG will tell you. But we wanna delete the mats.
Yep.
The frame.
Yeah, they're shown on the bid result spreadsheet as ads for
Right.
Higgins.
For
Yeah.
Higgins, but from the Conover, what was that? Yeah, the bid tab pulled up there.
I do, for number 8 was installed EM1 type foot grill. I'm not sure what type that is. Could be a size.
That's gonna be your exterior.
Okay. Roll and Conover had a no cost change for that.
Because that was an exterior one, which wouldn't be an interior application for them. So that was a different trade contractor.
Okay, and then alternate number 9 was for the EM2 foot grill,
Which is interior.
Interior.
Yep.
and that would be a deduct of $2,845.
Yeah, so I believe, and you'd have to check the scope review meeting minutes, but I'm fairly certain that they classified
Yeah.
which way it went.
Because you-
Laurel's minutes should identify that
Okay,
in our discussion, but
that's all.
The next one is providing a full conferencing tech system within the cafetorium for a virtual meeting room, 98. I think that one's been on hold, right? Not a priority right now. Is there anything that we would need to do in construction,
Well,
like in case we need to add it later?
you could put that on your, what type of phone system do we have? You know?
I don't know, do you know?
Frontier right now, Links. I think they're looking to change that though.
You, voice over IP.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everything's working.
Yeah, I mean, the newer, I mean, you can actually accomplish all of that on the newer phone system.
you can include that after the fact.
Yeah.
It doesn't need
I
to
would
be
do
part of
that.
construction.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Stamped and colored concrete,
Yeah. Just in time, Jerry.
which would be a reduction of 38,000.
Again, we want it, it would be nice to have, but I think right now, we're not in a position to do it,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Maintenance wise, it's gonna be, it's the focal point of the entrance, you're gonna.
Lose it, let's move on.
Okay,
Great, get rid of the stamped and colored concrete.
We're taking the credit?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll do votes, or do you want to vote on each one individually if we're making decisions, or do you want to bundle them?
I will bundle them.
Okay. So we're gonna take that one. The BDA is just on hold because we won't know until project's done.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get it, yeah, push it out to the end.
There were two that we needed more information on. One was 11C, which is evaluating the all mechanical system support methods. Another one was providing aluminum electrical feeders in lieu of copper feeders. And the third one was provide equivalent strength metal studs in lieu of thicker metal studs. And those were three that we were waiting for more info on.
So the metal studs
That's
already accepted. We got approval from this board.
in the GMP.
Yeah, so we included that within the GMP. We proceeded under that direction at that point.
Same with the feeders.
Yeah, feeder.
And the feeders, same situation there. The follow-up items from our last discussions would have been related to the anchoring supporting methods that we need to follow up with Ferguson to engage in a conversation on site, because I don't,
We
Yeah, I would
they need
accepted,
to
We
review
would
the
probably
existing
take
conditions.
those.
we accepted the metal studs, we accepted the electrical feeders, those are both out.
Mhm.
And was it the mechanical system support methods that you're talking about?
Yeah, we'll take, you'll end up taking those, guaranteed. But let them sort it.
So we don't want to vote on that one tonight yet?
I don't think so.
You don't need to at this point.
Okay.
How about the actuators and? Oh, you get still.
That's that one.
That's that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the only one left is the pickleball courts, 50% of pickleball courts and or lights.
So how soon, going back to anchors, how soon can we get an answer on that? I think that's come up at 2 or 3 meetings
So
in a
the
row.
last time we met, the direction was to just provide pricing for removing the lights essentially at that point, keeping the courts, the surfacing, the,
Back to actuators.
Back to
I think
actuators.
oh.
Yeah, I got Bob Ferguson. I
Anchors,
requested
yeah.
it and, I requested it again.
How soon do you think we could get it, or just on?
I'll push for it as soon as I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like we've been talking about that for a few meetings, and we'd like to take advantage of that based on
Okay.
where we're at our budget.
I mean, that could be half the outdoor classroom, right? If we can accept that one.
We'll see. It should be a good number.
What were those numbers?
71.5.
Okay, if we're moving on the pickleball lights, I don't think it's enough of savings, Stephen. We might as well put them in.
Yeah.
Are we still putting pickleball courts in?
I think
I think we can do the courts.
the cost to recapture them once we leave the site is far more expensive than
That's not our problem.
taking them out. But it is still a middle field facility that, we removed and should have back in.
Again, if the money came back, I would agree, but, taking that fee is putting us in a terrible position. And it's gonna come out down the road. And then it's gonna be too late.
But trying to get extra court back in,
But those courts are not required for educational purposes, neither are the lights.
Well, I have a problem with removing something that was an amenity that was on the property before and not putting it back.
I understand that. I have a problem with taking fees.
I do too, but I'm not willing to give up the courts for the fee issue.
Well, I'm saying for record, I am.
Okay,
So-
and this is one we can vote on independently.
Mhm.
I have no issue with that. As far as the lights, I don't think 13,000 is really enough of a swing. However, if we're ever gonna do the alternate parking, that does require lights. So lights could be bundled together if we're gonna do the alternative parking to get it in. I just don't think 13,000 is enough of a swing. I also don't think what we were gonna save by removing one court wasn't enough to justify it.
So
You know
John,
where, you know where I stand on it, so I was pretty clear. at the last meeting.
Living in the town though,
Yeah.
that where the town pays money to use these facilities,
Mhm.
I do believe that having those courts is an amenity for the facility. And I don't think we should punish the town for the actions of a single individual.
And I want to be clear that I don't think I'm not, it's not about punishment. For me, it's about prioritizing the three things we said we were going to prioritize, which is learning, health and safety, and efficiency, and they just don't rise to the top.
Right, but these were there already,
Yeah,
and
and I'm not saying, if we could afford it, I would support it. We're in a pickle right now. We're basically a quarter way into, no pun intended. We're in a pickleball court. We're not even a quarter way through the job and we have no contingency.
Don't forget, we would not have moved the tennis courts if the community hadn't come forward and said that, you know, they were concerned about additional parking for different, things that might happen, different programs that might happen at the school, there wouldn't be enough parking. And that's why we ended up moving the tennis courts, because originally they were not going to be moved.
Exactly. But the reason we were able to move them was by replacing them essentially in kind. And coming up with an alternative that had an alternate parking area available.
So let me, if, at this point, if we get anything back from the field, it can't go into this project anyway.
Yes,
They
you
can.
can.
Oh, it can't.
Yeah.
But it can't go into something, you know. Once we commit to paving the courts, you can't just add it, you know, it's not a segmental thing that you can add.
Right.
We can add something that's independent, like additional rubber surfacing. We can add something like additional parking. Those are things that we can utilize for the additional money or some of the technology things that we're taking.
Like you do as the Middlefield resident. I don't think that the school should be paying for pickleball courts because Middlefield put us in this, but we lost them because of Middlefield's actions and they have the money.
The incremental cost, the incremental savings of getting rid of that one court, in my opinion, is not worth it. Plus there's still value for play space.
So both Johns, while I completely understand your perspective, and I really want to support that for the reasons that you are thinking of. I just think it's more of an impact to the community as a whole and can't support that position. Especially because for the reasons I stated earlier, it was amended
I get that too.
there and was included in the project and should stay.
I feel part of that way too. So that can't be broken out. The tennis courts and pickleball courts are not necessarily standalone with the paving or anything else, or are they?
You can't set, what we're looking to do is reduce the courts by one.
No, so
you're already putting in,
Well, hold on.
So is the
We talked
entire,
about reducing it more than.
we're reducing it in half.
okay, so no, my
Well,
question is,
We also have the option.
Is that a
of cutting
standalone?
it down to a quarter. Let's be honest. The point is, we're in a pickle money box. So we need to get the most value out of that because it's not required for elementary school. Simple as that. We're supposed to manage this budget right down to the last penny. And this is gonna hamstring us to do that. That's all I'm saying. Now, you could vote to do that. I have no problem. I agree, whatever the majority wants, absolutely. Then you're just gonna have to take it out of the FFE at the end of the job. You may have classrooms with no furniture in it. I don't know.
so my question was, I know it's not incrementally worth going in and adding half back when you've already got half there. If we didn't do anything, if we took them all out, does putting them back in as a whole come pretty close to eliminating them entirely at this stage of the project? My thinking is we can paint Foursquare in the parking lot. And when we get the money back from Middlefield, all that can be reallocated to tennis pickleball courts entirely.
So let me think about timing a little bit, because we do hope to have some kind of a solution, hopefully next week.
Sure.
You need to know about the lights tonight because are they running conduit out there? Where
No, they're releasing the lights.
they're releasing the lights?
Yeah.
Okay.
They wanna know.
What's the lead time on the lights?
I'd have to find out.
Okay, I'm gonna anticipate probably not 12 months.
No,
I mean,
It's releasing the whole package.
Yeah,
The whole
so
lighting package is released, so it's part of that.
The issue is he gets a reduced price, package price, so if we delete those.
you pay a premium.
Yeah,
You
like
got
the
it.
vendor take advantage
Yeah.
of single light.
Yeah.
He's 100%.
Are there lights on the courts now that are
Yes.
there?
Yeah.
There are.
Move those lights to these lights.
They're in rough shape.
No, I'm just saying, there are lit courts, right?
Those lights are gone. Yeah.
And the community did repair work at their own expense.
I know they.
And wasn't that at their own expense to repair the lights so they were usable?
We were pretty much on the hook for maintenance over there. The town did volunteer to repair the lights last time, yeah.
So let me just, again, I'm thinking of timing. So they release the lights. So let's say tonight the committee decides to keep the lights in. And it makes no decision on the courts. Is that gonna be okay until we have an answer about the permit fees?
You will just own lights and poles.
Which we can move,
You'll pay every
which we can move to this point,
We'll
right?
get 50 cents on the dollar. Excellent.
Everybody talking about that.
So that's the worst case scenario is that we don't.
But they may not be compatible with our existing foundations. We can't just pop, I mean, we may be able to, but I don't know if we can just pop them onto existing foundations that we have for the tennis court sites over here.
Not that big of a light.
Yeah,
You're right. I mean,
I just, it's all about the roll pattern, you know, it's gotta fit on what we currently have.
Well, Hilti tells me all the time, they can,
Yeah,
they're just as strong, you can drill in a
That's
box,
epoxy, right?
and it's just as strong, so.
So if we end up with extra lights, we can use them somewhere.
Eric, if we end up with $13,000 of lights.
I mean, you guys always want to put lights.
I mean, the cost of the lights is really insignificant. I mean, that cost also has conduit being baked into it as well.
Yep.
So,
And I said, the only thing that's food is the excavation, and it's gonna be minimal, because, you know, they're just gonna scratch that in.
I mean,
I'd rather hold,
I'm leaning on holding on to the lights. And then making
Yeah.
a decision later on if the worst case scenario is.
Yeah, I mean, the worst case scenario, I suspect we'll get something, so I mean, I would be willing to take the risk, the cost of the lights.
that we're gonna get something.
Until we get a decision for next week, I don't really have a problem.
Did we get an idea of the total cost of the tennis courts? Of the entire asphalt surface?
Not
If
the
we-
entire, we did about half, I think it was around 100,000.
Okay.
So 200,000.
So the money coming back would essentially fund the entire.
Absolutely.
Well, there's an if, and it's if how much money comes back, and then there's an.
No, we never priced the whole thing. Because the basketball courts and the upper court, we were gonna keep, we were only gonna cut it in half. It was not to
It
take-
would be close to 200,000. You know what, if that's what we end up getting, I'm still concerned, even if we get this money that we're moving forward, we're gonna have to cut some stuff somewhere down the road. I can almost guarantee it. I don't know what it is yet, but so it is fairly tight, but we knew that going in, but I just think that this is an opportunity to set aside money that would prevent that from happening. That's all. I mean, I wish we knew we had the information, but that's a week out. So if we could just buy the lights for today, I'm okay with that. That's worth the risk, in my opinion. Hopefully we could sort it from there.
So it's an installed cost, and it's really nothing.
$1,000 a pole, pretty much.
I'm sorry if I missed it, but what is the actual likelihood of getting a decision next week on the fees? And I guess I'd like some more background on that. And if that decision is made, how soon do those funds become available to us?
So it's not so much about when we actually get the funds, it's about knowing that we have them, right? Like, it's more about the commitment to get the funds. I do know that there's a Middlefield Select Board meeting next week, and that's when we're hoping that we have some kind of a decision.
Hoping, or we have a commitment?
I can't say.
So that doesn't sound very, the reason I'm asking is because I question whether we're gonna have an answer next week.
I would hope we do.
So
I
mediation,
feel encouraged that we will have an answer next week.
this isn't the mediation, this is the board of selectmen.
It's a little bit of both. Yes.
They're being pressured by mediation.
We've been trying to put that meeting together, to go through the tech list again.
Yeah.
And it's coming up, like, part of, or that whole meeting is to try and identify what's on the list that can be purchased out of the capital budget.
Mhm.
Is there any way of, even though we haven't had the meeting yet, asking the technology director to review the list and let us know?
Yeah, of course, you can ask him anything. He's just in Italy right now. So. Usually comes back. Yeah, you, at any time. Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah,
I just
let
don't
him
know
what
if he
you need.
wants to volunteer that information to me.
Mhm.
Well, you should.
Yeah, why not?
Is there any benefit to attending the Board of Selectmen meeting next week to provide input on this, or is it gonna be another executive session where they're discussing it?
Legal, my guess that it would be executive session. I mean, that's what I would do.
Good night.
But we would have
Good.
public comment. Okay. So.
All right, so it sounds like there's two things to vote on, one is the stamped and colored concrete, if anybody wants to make a motion to accept the $38,000 reduction there.
Motion to accept the credit for stamped concrete.
Second. Okay, we have a motion on the table to accept the deduct for the stamped concrete. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed?
And then it's the lights.
Okay, so we're,
We have to vote if we're deciding not,
If we decline it.
if we're not pursuing it, we even need to vote.
Think so.
No.
Yeah.
Mhm,
now,
Only if you're
we're just
taking
keep, we're
action.
keeping the lights. We're gonna accept the lights
mhm.
and, you will either install them as part of this project
Or
or,
use the polls for shade sales.
We're rejecting good credit.
or,
I guess they're-
honestly, I mean, there's many places they can go. They can go to these tennis courts, they can, you know, I'm sure there's plenty of places there. The biggest thing with that is just getting them erected, and wired.
So the lights are in the project, so you're not taking any action, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then we're gonna wait to see what happens, and then we can decide on action on, the courts. And, you know. They can either, you know, like I said, I'm opposed to them being piecemealed. I think they either have to go entirely or they have to be included entirely. If they go entirely, every money, everything we get back, I'm gonna see them put back in.
Do we have a plan of what it looks like? Person? Do we have a plan what what it looks like with the courts and the pickleball?
Like what?
Just a 2D plan. At that point, we don't have any rendered anything at this point. But we have kind of a striping plan that's included within the
I
drawings.
mean, it's just the actual layout, how many,
Yeah, it's on the plans.
Yeah.
It's actually an in-kind replacement of what was there with somewhat of an upgrade
Sure.
and
so
lighting
there
that.
there was 2 tennis courts and they were modified big pickleball courts, if I remember.
Yeah, there was a basketball court, there was a tennis court, and then a combo tennis pickleball.
Tennis pickleball, so it's
Those 4 courts.
4 courts altogether.
And we were thinking of removing 2, right?
Yeah, so we had talked about the left side of the tennis court and the tennis / pickleball, removing that, that's what we had talked about.
So there'd still be 2 pickleball courts if we did,
Well,
No, so we'd have the basketball court and the tennis court.
it was a
We will
tennis
have-
court, we could stripe as pickleball,
Yeah, you could try to do that.
like we did the other course. If we had to. Right,
Yes.
and you would still end it with 2 pickleball courts.
Yeah, but then you're buying portable nets to move around.
That's what we had, right?
No, we had 4 full permanent pickleball courts, 2 tennis courts and the basketball court. And I believe there was some Foursquare painted out there.
yeah, there's Foursquare painted on the tennis courts.
And
And then there was a portable net on one of the tennis courts. But the portable
We
net was
took the
already on.
existing courts and redid them,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
They were reconfigured to take
Yeah.
out 2 tennis courts. And those were changed to 4 pickleball courts and a basketball court. The two of the tennis courts remained and were also striped for pickleball with movable nets.
So I mean, my sense is if we have a tennis court and pickleball courts, we could get 4 pickleball courts out of that arrangement. Without, if we don't have tennis courts.
You could. You could.
I mean, if push comes to shove, but we could get 4 pickleball courts and drop the tennis net.
Yeah.
If we had, if we ran out of money.
I think we'll have to see where we go with the lawsuit. And the permit fees.
I feel like it's all or nothing with the way it's designed. Either we find the money to do it or we cut the whole thing out.
I tend to be of the same opinion.
We're too far along.
Yeah.
To start piecemealing this and cutting apart and changing. We've dealt with enough of that.
I just want to say, since we're talking about all of this, that I really hope that down the road, when it comes time, that we can do the rubber surfacing on the playground. Like, if money frees up, I know that we're as low as we can go, but if CM contingency, if there's anything there, if there's permit fee money or anything like that, whether or not, no matter what happens with the pickleball courts, just, that would be my next highest priority, because that's a big student safety issue.
So there's also two ways to go with it too. It's $22 a square foot over a prepared substrate.
Yes, I just put the matting in on pre-K. It's actually pretty nice. Obviously the poured rubber is best.
Is that the one you were telling me about? It's sort of like, no, okay.
There's a different one. There's a tile system out there that's moving through, which is a click-in system.
Yeah. I would agree with you. I mean, if you can get the poured rubber surface is a better overall system for that type of playground.
But we have time for that one. I just want to express that health and safety wise for kids, if at any point any money does free up, and again, outside of whatever happens with the courts, if we can try and prioritize that surfacing on the playground, I think that would be the best way to go. Regardless of playgrounds, yes, regardless of how many tons of small stones we need.
Well, I think the design of the outdoor courtyard is greatly simplified it. I think it's going to be easy to maintain, and I said I think it gives flexibility and should stay under budget on this one. So.
Invoices, do you want to go to invoices?
Sure.
Kim left me in charge, so you'll have to report back that I did all right with this. We have 4 invoices for approval tonight. We have invoice number 687679 in the amount of $19,873 for Shipman and Goodman, which was for the Eversource easement and injunction. We have invoice numbers 260707773 in the amount of $2,648.12 for Phase B implementation, Phase C inspections from Weston and Sampson. Invoice number 2673 in the amount of $13,555 for June labor for STV. And then we have invoice 1334490 in the amount of $44,068.75 for asbestos abatement monitoring admin charges for Panoni.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the invoices as presented?
Motion to accept invoices as presented.
Okay, can I get a second? Okay, second by John. Okay, we have a motion on the table to accept all the invoices as presented. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Is it possible to get a breakdown of injection, the extra legal costs due to permitting issues at some point?
Or I think
Not right now, obviously, but if I do.
it's hefty.
Yeah.
It's already hefty. And then, like, we tried everything before we brought the lawyers in.
Yeah, I know, but it's not probably me to say.
I always try everything before I bring the lawyers in.
Hopefully, in those cases, we just say, and you get to pay your legal fees.
Okay. Item number 6, RFI for tennis courts.
Yeah, so this was the request of the building committee, and then we wanted to have one building committee meeting devoted to the tennis courts, because it's this topic that always kind of gets mixed in with the bigger project. I think we scheduled that for August 28th.
That's high school courts.
The high school courts, yeah, we're talking about, we're moving to a different school and different courts. And no legal courts either. Yeah. So.
We might have one.
Eric and Kim and I just tried to put something together as a draft for you to review just to get started. So any changes that you want to make, please just let us know. But whenever we have your approval, and if you're okay with what you saw tonight or any changes you want to make, we can just go ahead and send it.
In?
It's in the packet. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
But as soon as, I don't know, if you read it and if you want to give me edits, we can do that and you can vote to, or just, you don't really need to vote. You can just tell us to go ahead and send it out, or if you want more time to.
Yeah, we'll definitely want some more time to review it.
Okay, we were hoping to get it out and have some lead time for that August meeting so that we actually had some information to go, so
We'll
that's,
get,
we should push that meeting out then. 'cause
well,
it's
do you
only a
want,
month,
just,
right?
we'll get you comments by next, we can get you comments by next week.
Okay,
What, comments by Monday?
sure, that'd be great.
So what is the goal of the RFP? I read through it quickly. I see there's a request for pricing to do some level of resurfacing to restore the courts, and then there's full replacement.
Yeah, so there, it's really an RFI, so we're just requesting information right now, so we want to put it out there so that people can. What did you say, there are like 5 places that really work on courts, so that they can come to us and say, this is your best short-term solution, this is your best long-term solution, so that the building committee has some idea of what you're talking about, and we can figure out how to work these into capital planning.
So this is to get market information, to plan for funding it in the future.
Yes.
Right,
Mhm.
or specific system information.
All for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you get me comments by Monday, and if I, like at the end of Monday, can I just go ahead and send it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd rather just get it out there.
Yeah, please do.
Thank you.
Do we update on ADA projects?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Same.
Eric and
Yeah.
Kim and I had a really great meeting with Rusty and Parson about the ADA, like review, design, planning and everything that's going on. We have a really good, plan that's gonna come forward to you pretty soon for Strong. Our plan, just in case you thought your building committee work might get lighter at some point, our plan is to go ahead with the Strong entryway and ADA overhaul next summer. So our hope is to get the plan into the state for approval by October or November. That's gonna be our timeline for that. And I don't know if you want to add anything that specific that we talked about in terms of, like, we definitely need to focus on Strong first. If you want to just kind of give an overview of what you're looking at, that would be great.
Yeah, I think one of the main considerations from our discussion is focusing on the main entrance to Strong and kind of addressing the accessibility at the main entrance. We think there's a lot of good bones already from a security standpoint, from the secured vestibule, but there are some things that we would recommend kind of modifying to kind of enhance some security measures similar to what we're implementing over at the Memorial School within the design there. So we are looking at kind of an exterior ramp type solution at that main entrance. That way you're not having to traverse around to the far side that's unsupervised or anything like that at the school there. So that's kind of the main focus for that summer work that we're looking to kind of target.
Which would include the curbs and sidewalk and everything like that. And hopefully while we're doing that, if we can look at some of the security things. The Strong doesn't have the most ideal entryway with the buzzing in and 2 double doors, like maybe looking at the kind of teller kind of window in there as well, like while we're moving everything around.
Yeah. So really kind of fortifying it.
Also change all the stairways there. That would.
Yeah, we'd be looking to take and resolve any ADA kind of complex issues, handrail issues that are present kind of at the main entrance and around those areas there. ADA parking spaces, there may be some line striping, some adjustment of accessible parking areas.
Main stairway's a little worn.
Yeah,
So-
we'll definitely kind of.
So are we doing 2 non-priority submissions, or can we do it under one ADA?
So it's gonna be per school. So
Per
the state
school.
wants to see a non-priority project, per school. So we can
But
do
can
one
we
for
include this, the ADA and security in that?
most likely, yes. So we're gonna have to engage with them up front, just see how they want it packaged, but
Yeah, they seem to be allowing that more.
we've done it before with another school. We actually just wrapped up over at Region 4 with a similar kind of secured entry vestibule ADA kind of project. So they were able to combine that under one project number there.
We also, just to let everybody know, money wise, we do have 2 grants that need to be spent, which is why we want to move this along. And as I said, it's rare that Kim tells me I really need to spend money. So we need to move this forward, but we should have enough to, like, ballpark right now, we should have enough to do Strong under the HVAC grant that we have. And then when we move into the high school project for ADA, hopefully we're in good place there with an ADA grant, but it'll depend on what this committee and the community decides to do about the auditorium. if the auditorium is just basic, just fixing the ADA components, which is gonna be plenty enough because the pitch is off. Or if it's something, because we've had a lot of feedback in the strategic plan about the community kind of wanting a little bit more of an auditorium overhaul upgrade. So that'll be the discussion that comes, but that'll be the project after strong.
Did you look at any of the RIP grants? Did you get any dollar amount for that?
We got 80 grand,
How much?
80.
Yeah, okay.
And I think we've already
Spent that.
used it to fix some of our drips,
Gotcha.
literally.
Yes, plumbing lines.
And then Eric is also, outside the 80-year project, because we weren't sure if it would be reimbursable or not, is that we're gonna replace the elevator at Strong. Because we have a very old elevator that gives us a lot of trouble. And so we're just gonna go ahead and do that. It's already in progress.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great,
that's it.
awesome.
I just
Any-
wanted you to be mentally prepared. There's another project coming.
We're going back as soon as, yeah, we are gonna go back to monthly meetings now. These bi-weeklies are really just a special thing for this.
Okay.
Any other matters? Well, actually, we can't discuss any other matters. Good. Any public comment?
If you're online, and we have 2 people online, if you have anything, public comment you'd like to make, raise your hand.
With that, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Yeah, thank you.
We did the motion in seconds, please.
Motion, second.
And we have to have our King's Order group stay, right?
Just.
Good night, Bill.
Hey.